Hey everybody, today I'm setting up my new pedalboard. This is a pedal train PT3 and as you can see I already drilled 3 holes into it. This is for the shorter pedals in the back row. So I'm gonna put on this booster later and yeah, so you can easily reach all the smaller ones. Yeah, let's start with the signal chainer first. I'm gonna begin with a tone buffer, then I go, I need this slider. Then I go into the tuner pedal, the most important one for me. Then right onto my volume pedal. Yeah, from there I go, let's see, I think into the micro POC, then into the fuzz box. Then from there I go into the distortion pedal. Totally wrong. I totally forgot the compression pedal. It might be between here and the POG. Yeah, then I go into my Vox time machine. This is some kind of analog delay. And from there I go over into the first stereo one. This is a flanger from TC Electronic. And now let's go to the big ones, to Stompbox M9 from line 6. Also stereo, so I have to wire it right. And then from there I go into my newest one. This is a DIG from Strymon. Excellent digital delay, and now I go into the Flint, also Strymon, and yeah, that's it. I might use this one for jamming as well. Well, so much for the intention, but then I was like, how the hell am I able to power all these with not that many sources? And because for this alone you need an AC voltage power supply, this one, and for the digital pedals, the Strymon, DIG and the DIG and the Flint, you need at least I think 250 to 300 milliamperes, and you can get it from this one, and also the POG needs a little bit more. And yeah, then I found a fine solution. This is a chocolate by Shops, and as you can see it goes from 100 milliamperes over to 200, 400 and also 800, and also AC voltage outlets. So I'm easily able to power the Strymon ones with a 400 milliampere outlet, and also the M9. So let's get started. At first I'm gonna attach the power supply underneath the board, then the booster on top of it, yeah, and then I put on the Velcro and do all the cabling and stuff. Yeah, I've got the zip ties, I've got the zip tie bases. Let's do this! Okay, now everything's wired, everything works well and sounds well actually. There is no noise at all. I just made an important change in the signal chain at last minute actually, because I was testing the expression pedal along with the distortion, and when you set the expression pedal before all the other stomp boxes, it just works like the volume knob on your guitar, and I was like, I have to change that. So I fixed it, and yeah, it was quite difficult to keep all the cabling as short as possible. So as you might see, or rather imagine, the signal flow goes now through the tuner into the MXR, right back into the POG, from there into the distortion, over to the delay and into the fuzzbox, and from there a cable goes back right into the volume pedal. So now you got the full distortion or feedback, and you can crank it up like, yeah. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Good day. Welcome ulit sa channel and thank you for watching. If hindi ka pa subscriber, please subscribe to my channel and like this video kapag nagustuhan mo. And if not, okay lang, comment ka lang, dislike the video. Freedom mo yan. So, may mga nagtatanong sa akin recently kung ano yung tone na ginamit ko or anong distortion na ginamit ko sa Jack Tamarath cover. Kasi tinutugtog ko siya live sa ibang lugar and they're asking kung ano yung distortion na ginagamit ko or overdrives. I-share ko lang sa inyo yung isa sa mga ginagamit ko to achieve a Jack Tamarath tone. Although malawak yung tone ni Jack Tamarath depende sa kanta niya kung ano yung ginagamit yung overdrives. Ito yung isa sa mga ginagamit ko para ma-cover yung isang kanta niya, like yung On the Way. So, first, ito yung clean sound natin. Naka-on yung compressor and yung Joyo American is always naka-on sa akin kasi ginagamit ko siya as one of my tone defiers. Here's with the American Joyo on and yung compressor naka-on lang naman lagi sa akin yan. That's the clean tone sa neck. Here's the bridge. Yun siya. So, ano yung difference kapag naka-on si American Joyo at saka wala? Try natin na. I-off ko yung Joyo American. Ito yung wala. Meron. So, nakinig mo naman yung difference niya, di ba? So, ang ginagamit kong isang overdrive is yung TS9DX na nakaset sa TS9 mode and yung gain is all the way down, level is all the way up. Then yung tone, depende sa amplifier na sasaksakan mo. Currently, amplifier ko, I'm using a clean amp, walang distortion. No name dropping na lang sa brand. So, depende sa amplifier na gamit ko sa live setting. Kapag medyo bright yung amplifier sa clean tone, yung tone ng TS9 is ibinababa ko ng konti. Kapag dark naman yung amplifier, itataas ko siya ng konti. Aside sa pagsaset mo ng equalizer ng amplifier, yung bass, mid, and treble. Pero isang advice ko or tip sa mga beginner sa paggigig sa live, kaibiganin mo ang mids. Learn how to tame the mids ng isang amplifier kasi yun yung magka-cut through sa guitar mo, sa tone ng guitar mo kapag nagpa-play ka ng live. Iba ang tunog, magandang tunog ng medyo mababa mids kapag nasa kwarto ka lang or nakikinig ka sa headphones. Pero sa isang live setting sa gig, kapag gano'n ang setup mo, most likely lubog ang tunog mo sa live. So yung mids ang nagbibigay ng buhay sa tunog ng gitara sa live setting sa amp. Medyo akali mo lang, masyadong ano yan eh. Depende sa isang musician yan, yung preference niya. Sabi nga, di ba, so, yung tone ng isang gitara is talagang subjective. Walang perfect tone. It depends sa'yo kung anong perfect tone para sa'yo. So, try na natin. I-on ko si TS9DX. Nakikita nyo naman sa camera ko ng settings niya. Ilalagay ko din sa description kung ano yung settings ko sa TS9DX. So, sa TS9 mode. So, ito yung tunog with the TS9DX. So, para pa rin siyang clean tone na medyo may grit na ng konti, di ba? Sa neck pickup yun. Kapag nasa bridge pickup ka, ito yung tunog niya. So, na-differentiate mo naman kung ano yung tunog without the TS9DX turned on and yung with the TS9DX turned on. So, try natin ngayon. Ang ginagamit ko, dalawang klaseng overdrive. Depende sa kung anong gusto mong kalabasan. Kung gusto mo mas matapang, si Ultimate Drive ang ginagamit ko. Magandang copy siya ni OCD kasi. Then, ang most na ginagamit ko sa mga Jack Tamarat tones is yung B-Box by Mosky. To turn on ko siya para makinig mo kung anong tunog niya. So, nakinig mo, dalawa na yung inon natin na overdrive, medyo may hiss na siya, hum. Which is normal, lalo kapag naka-single coils ka lang. I'm using a J-Craft Stratocaster, yun yung naman ginagamit ko. To turn down ko yung volume muna. So, yan, nakababa yung volume. Ito yung gamit kong guitar. Yan. Yung SSS setup nila na Stratocaster Sunburst, you can check out my review. I'll post the link in the description then. So, try na natin siya ngayon. Ito yung tone with the B-Box turned on. So, medyo na-recognize mo na siya. Yun yung nasa intro part ng On The Way, di ba? Ang ginagawa ko, I have 3 delays sa board setup na to. Yung isang delay is nanggagaling kay Valiton o Vailton Dark Dapper. Ginagamit ko siya as delay na lagi naka-on. Siya yung ginagamit kong delay na parang kumbaga pang rhythm. So, kahit hindi ako mag-turn on ng lead delay, laging may delay na konti lang talaga. May trail lang. Papakinig ko sa inyo. Ito yung tunog niya without the delay. Diba? Yun. Nga pala, naka-on pala yung reverb sa akin ngayon. Nakalimutan ko sabihin. Ang setup ko sa kanya is naka-spring reverb lang siya na subtle lang talaga. Diba? Parang meron lang talagang konting reverb lang. Then, ito turn on ko yung analog delay. So, ang ano ko sa kanya, ang timing ko lagi sa kanya, usually is nasa around 120. Ganon. Or hindi man saktong-sakto, pero ganon ang timing ko lagi for that specific delay, yung analog delay ng Valiton Dark Dapper. Para lang naman siya sa rhythm delay. Ito yung tunog niya. 'Di ba? So may konting trail lang. Para lang medyo wet yung tone mo. Diba may konting trail kapag natatapos yung pag-hit mo ng mga notes, may trail siyang konti. Then, I will add a digital delay. Ang ginagamit ko ng digital delay is yung hardwire DL8. So, that is my digital delay. CTC Electronic Novi Delay, itong nasa left corner, lower left, ginagamit ko siya specifically for dotted 8 notes. So, ang ginagamit ko for lead tone delay is yung hardwire. Ito yung tunog niya with the hardwire. Ito muna yung wala. Yung ginagamit ko lang is analog delay. Ganun yung trail niya. Then, pag tinurn on ko na yung DL8, ito yung tunog niya. So, meron na talaga siyang delay. May nagtatanong sa akin, bakit ko inuuna sa chain ang reverb before delay? Kumbaga, delay yung last sa chain ko before going to the amp. Subjective din yan. Minsan gusto ko na yung reverb is nasa dulo, pero after years of playing, mas nagustuhan ko ang reverb before delay. Isa lang yung explanation ko sa kanya. Kasi, kapag nasa dulo ang reverb, ang delay, di ba, mayroong multiple times na papasok yan sa reverb, yung tunog mo. Kasi nga, naka-modulate ka, naka-delay ka. So, papasok sa reverb yon. Ang mangyayari, bawat pumapasok dun sa reverb na notes na naka-delay is i-reverb niya. Magre-result siya sa parang nagpa-pulse yung reverb mo. May time na kalat ang tunog niyan kapag nasa live setting ka. Or let's say, nasa isang bar ka. Lalo kung yung bar is medyo, kumbaga, maraming bintana, medyo open. Kasi kapag yung bar, medyo close siya, minsan hindi na ako nagtuturn on ng reverb eh. Kasi the bar itself will produce a reverb. Konting reverb lang naman ang gusto mo. So, kapag open air, medyo maraming bintana, nag-on ako dyan. O kaya medyo kulob yung bar, medyo maraming kahoy, ganon, hindi nag-reverb, mag-on ka ng reverb. Nagpa-pulse, kapag nasa dulo ang reverb mo sa chain ng pedal, nagpa-pulse yun bawat note. Nagre-resulta para sa akin opinion ko lang naman, medyo kalat yung dating. So mangyayari, yung tone na ginagawa ko ngayon, i-reverb ko na siya. So yung reverb na naka-reverb ko, saka i-delay, ngayon, si delay, meron na siyang ilalabas na constant reverb. Tapos yung delay na pumapatong sa ilalim niya is subtle. So, ibig sabihin, hindi kalat yung tunog. Para sa akin lang naman. Although, hindi mo talaga mapapansin masyado yun eh. Kumbaga, napaka-small detail na yan. So, hindi kailangan pagtalunan. Opinion lang naman ng bawat guitarist yan. So, ito sa ako ito yung gusto ko. So, ito yung tone ko kay Jack Tamarat sa On The Way. Ito yung ginagamit ko. I have a TS90X. I'm using a B-Box. Then, American Joyo, naka-send return siya sa sa Valiton Dark Dapper. I'm using an analog delay ng Dark Dapper na naka-subtle talaga. As in, talagang trail lang ang iiwanan mo. Almost like a reverb. Then, sa reverb, I'm using a plate reverb. Nasa mids lang, RV3. Ang gamit ko, Boss RV3. Pang-plate reverb lang naman, or hall, or spring ang gamit ko dyan. Then, I'm using a DL8 delay, digital delay. Pwede mo lang i-adjust yan sa preferences mo. Pero sa akin kasi, mas gusto ko yung hindi masyadong maraming repeats. Then, yung blending ng delay is tama lang. So, ganito yung resulta niya. Ganon. Yun ang lalabas na tone sa kanya. Try nating introhan na. Wala nang backing track. Subukan lang natin. So, yun yung ginagamit kong tone kay Jack Tamarat on the way. So, sana nakatulong sa inyo ng malaki or at least may natutunan kayo kung paano ako gumawa ng tone. Minsan, gumagamit ako ng OCD again or OCD copy. It's an ultimate drive by Joyo. Minsan OCD ang gamit ko, minsan yan. Depende sa sitwasyon. Kasi magandang copy talaga to ng OCD eh. So, ayun lang. Sana nag-enjoy kayo. Thank you for watching. And please like, comment, and subscribe. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Hello friends, Mick here. It's Saturday the 11th of May. Yesterday we put out a video on Always On pedals. Had loads of great comments, thank you very much. You can see all the responses to those in the Monday VCQ. I've come into the office today because I had to process some audio. We had Dave Gregory in just recently, formerly of the band XTC, who did a show with us about 12-string guitars and took us through his lovely Rickenbackers among many other awesome stories. And also we had Mark Materia in on the same day, so I processed the audio for that as well. Simon's editing those on Monday. Today I've come in, I actually came into the office to do that, and I got a text message last night from a dear friend of mine, Stu Williams. We used to work together at Future Publishing when I was editor of Guitarist, and Stu was actually editor of Total Guitar. Anyway, Stu said, I think the text said, do you want to play Mr. Jones with us tomorrow night? And I'm like, great. And then I remembered another very dear friend of ours, Joby, it's his 40th birthday party tonight. And they're going to play a few songs. There's, you know, a few people going to play. So I thought, yeah, I'd love to play. That would be brilliant. Thank you very much for asking. However, my massive pedal board would be way too ostentatious to take to that, and it's, you know, would be a bit distasteful, I think. So I thought, but I do need a couple sounds, so I thought I'll put together a tiny board, because I don't know what amp I'm going to be plugging into, so I thought maybe that would be an interesting vlog. I'll just vlog putting the board together and you can see some of the thought processes. Happy birthday, Joby. Joby is an absolutely top class photographer, like a world class photographer across all genres, but also in rock. Joby took this picture, among many others, during our career and his career in 2008 when we went to Hyde Park. Sorry, it's a terrible reflection on the screen there. But anyway, I think we had maybe 10 minutes to get that shot. And if you've ever done a professional photo shoot, you'll know that 10 minutes isn't very much time. And there was dear John in really brilliant posing mood, and Joby got that shot, among many others. Joby Sessions. Anyway, happy birthday, Joby. And we're going to be playing, or at least I'm going to join them on a couple of songs tonight. So, pedalboard. Pedalboard cam, as you can see. What do I need? So, this would be on my new Schmidt Array Tiny 250 or whatever it's called board, except my dear friend Daniel Steinhardt keeps forgetting to bring it. Dan, can you please bring it on Monday? So it's on the dear old pedal train Metro 16, which I've modified here with this additional piece of wood so that I can get a generator under there somewhere, and it won't foul the ground when it's on the ground. How did I do that? I suspect if you peel this back, you can see through here a screw. So it's just drilled and screwed all the way through there, there. Hang on, get the pedal cam. There, there, and there. So that's how I did that. Right, so what do I want on the board? I want some stuff that's going to enable me to cover a bunch of sounds and have a bit of fun. I think Even Flow is on the set list by Pearl Jam. So Mike McCready. Oh, by the way, honk for Dave Gregory, honk for Mark Lettieri, honk. Have I ever? I might have interviewed Mike McCready on the phone once, maybe. Not really a full honk for that. So fuzz, Jesse Davey, the little fuzz there. So I think that's going to be number one, King Tone fuzz. This thing is sticking out of it incidentally because it is a reverse polarity pedal. So you mustn't just stick center negative power into that. It must have center positive. So that is a polarity reverser. Interestingly enough, it also has a an equivalent of Dan's virtual battery in there. So it kind of, the power thing sounds a bit like a battery, given that lots of people like their fuzzes to run off batteries, not off power supplies. So that's going to be number one. As you can see, in the usual fashion on the board here, in all of the pedal board builds that Dan has ever done and has taught me well, soft side of Velcro on the board, pedal board tape on the pedal. Now, this is some stuff that's been put on there just to attach it loosely to the pedal board when we're filming. I prefer 3M dual lock, which is what we refer to as pedal board tape. Actually, this isn't quite as good as the stuff that Dan sells on the gig rig, but it will do the job. So, cutting device, little squares like this, look, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just do this on here. So you can see that. This much pedal tape is enough. I try and avoid the screws so that if the back's got to come off, it can come off without any problem. So there you go, 4 little squares on there like that, and then that is enough to hold that pedal on there very strongly indeed. Won't put it down hard yet because I've got some other stuff to get on there. Now, what else do I want? I want a fuzz, I want a vibe, I want an overdrive, and I want a delay. I want to get that on there, but I don't think it'll fit, which is kind of annoying. I mean, it would just about fit. Actually, that may well work. So we go side mounted jacks, top mounted, side, top. So that might actually work. This polarity reverser annoyingly is straight. So that means if I come that way at all on the pedal board, it's going to overhang the edge, and that's going to foul the edge and get potentially get snapped. So okay, so that'll be the layout. I'll then use a Quartermaster 4 because a lot of people say surely for just 3 or 4 pedals you don't need a true bypass loop switcher. All I'll say is, having heard it and used it for years now, along with Dan's power system, I wouldn't go back at this point because of the advantages that it gives you in terms of signal strength and clarity, quiet operation, etc, etc. So if there's any opportunity to use Quartermaster, I will take it. And I apologise if I keep looking up there. There's a screen. That's into the camera. That's into the screen. What power do I need? I will need a generator. So the power from the wall comes in here. And then the generator then outputs that power to a distributor. So this takes the power from the wall. You plug that in there. And then this goes off to all the other pedals. This doesn't provide isolation from ground loops and all of that. So you then need an isolator. What I don't know, so the fuzz takes almost next to no current, so that's fine. I don't need to worry about that. The Deja Vibe, similarly, because it's analog, takes next to no current, but it does take 18 volts, so I'm going to need an 18 volt adapter. The Analog Man Maxon AD9 with Bad Bob booster again takes next to no current, so that's fine. The the Belly Pop Deluxe, I don't know what the current draw on that is, so I'm going to have to check that just to make sure that everything is fine. But what will happen is generator will go on here somewhere. Make sure you can see that in pedalboard cam. The generator will go on here somewhere. The distributor will go somewhere near it, and the isolator will go somewhere near it. And it might be that I need a high current adapter for this, and potentially an 18 volt for the Deja Vibe if I can fit it on. Right, so that's the introduction. That's what's going to happen. These 4 pedals and this quartermaster are going on this board. I'm going to do the bulk of that work and spare you the pain of it, and then we'll come back in a few minutes. Oh, by the way, white tea. Ed O'Brien came in and he brought some white tea, and then I was very lucky. A few weeks later, Simon, our producer Simon, got a gig filming some stuff for Ernie Ball with Johnny Marr. Actually did one with Frank Turner as well. But so you have a look on the Ernie Ball String Theory thing on YouTube and check out the one with Johnny Marr. Simon filmed that. Anyway, Simon needed an extra pair of hands for the day, so hired me as his oppo to go along and do the audio and interview Johnny. And Johnny Marr also had white tea. Johnny, thank you so much, and Ed, thank you so much for the introduction to white tea, and it's very enjoyable indeed. Try it, white tea. This seems like a good a time as any for a quick interjection. You've just seen a time-lapse, like slow-mo, fast-mo, whatever it's called, thing. So just to recap then. Sorry if this looks a bit upside down on the pedal camera. So I've got to the point where I've laid everything out on the bottom of the board where it comes into the generator. Let's do this, that might help. It comes into the generator. It comes out to the distributor, and then that gives power to these other 3 things. Now what I've done inadvertently here is included 2 pedals that are a bit of a pain. One which requires 18 volt, so I need a doubler for 9 to 18 volts. And one which I'm not sure, because I think this runs on regular like 120 milliamps, but I'm not sure, so I've put a Time Lord on there as well, which will give it up to 500 and something, which is perfectly safe to do. But then if I swap it out for another pedal that needs, that has a higher power requirement, I'm basically covering my bases here. This looks unnecessarily complicated and expensive for a tiny little board, but do it properly. We've got the stuff to hand, so do it properly. So what I'm going to do now is the leads come in. I'm just going to tidy them up and send them off to the pedals up the top, and also I need to power the quartermaster as well. So it looks untidy because I haven't snipped anything off yet and I haven't tidied it up. So that's where we are. That's how the power underneath works. And bear in mind, this is a pedal train Metro 16, so you've got all that horsepower. Oh, that's not very good. You've got all that horsepower underneath there to power these pedals cleanly, efficiently, and without any horrible noise. Cool, okay, back soon. Because it's a really tight board, you've got to think about being able to get stuff like patch leads up to the pedals while cramming the pedals into a small space, and then I'll tidy all the cabling up last. So I've put the Bell Epoch on here, and I've put that all the way up as far left as it will go, sensibly and safely. And the next thing back from that is going to be this. Just need another little piece of that on there. Sorry, when I said this, I meant the Tube Screamer Bad Bob combination, which I should say is just an awesome mod of the Maxon OD9 platform. And then Mike does the 808 mod on it, Mike Analog Man, hello Mike. And also included this extra switch here, does the Bad Bob Boost, which is brilliant, and that's got its own little knob there for the level. So what I need to do with this one, if we take this pedal placement as an example, I need to make sure I can get my cable to go from the send up to the input of the Bell Epoch Deluxe, but also that I have enough room out of here to run this back here. Now, I'm going to do something that you probably shouldn't do, which is place it so close that you can't get it out, but I've got no option today because the pedals are only just going to fit on there, so I'm going to have to do that. So if it doesn't work, I'm in trouble, or if it breaks down, I'm in trouble. That's where we are. So I've got a bunch of patch cables here that are already made. If I don't have to make any more, I'm going to try not to. Might mean that some of them are a bit too long, so I'm going to use the shortest one here. And one of the shorter ones just to do this. Best practice says you should probably test your patch cables. Yep, but again, having done this many times, I'm relatively confident that they work. They all work, and if they don't, well, yep, then I'm going to have a problem, and I'm going to have to pull it all apart and be really annoyed by that. But anyway, let's play fast and loose. Next up is this, so I need to get that in here. So again, I need a really short one. I might actually make some short ones because it's just too much cable. Don't do this at home. Yeah, just don't do this at home. I can never quite remember how much to strip off, but there we go. Maybe that's too much. Oh well, doesn't matter. I do have a little one of Dan's little yellow stripper things, but I always seem to, I haven't quite worked out how to cut it without cutting through the insulation wires. I'm just not very adept at that, whereas this I can feel the blade go through, just touch the edge of the wires and not cut them. So if anyone's not made one of these before, you strip it back, you put all the ground wire back like that, you make that into a braided little bit there, you then chop a little bit off this. I know it's horrific, isn't it? I should really not be doing this. I might just be singing tonight, not playing the guitar, right? Now, Evidence very kindly did actually send us a bag of these. So, yeah. Dan has demonstrated this many times before, but the end of the wire is solid. It's a solid core, and it goes into the end of the plug, like this, and you screw it on. Hence, screw in solderless. I'm not going to pull that too hard because being such a short cable, it will pull the core right through. So then you bend it over and you screw the end on. And that will be a nice connection. It's quite weird actually. You almost get a feel for when one's not going to work, because you've done it too quickly or what have you. I should just say that normally I would have a little board like this just available for stuff like this. So it's all made up with everything that we're putting on here today. You know, a little switcher, powered up, ready for pretty much any pedals to go on there. But John, bass player in Joey Landreth's band, they did a little pre-rehearsal here at TPS, pre-tour, just to make sure everything was working and get their gear all in order and everything. And John's pedalboard was playing up, and I took a look at it and I was like, we can't, you can't go out on the road with that. You need a little quartermaster, and the gig rig power just to keep it clean and easy. So I gave him my my kind of day-to-day board, and we put his pedals on there. He has a compressor, I think an overdrive and a preamp or something. And I'm proud to say that it's working and he's very happy. So that's butted up there nicely. I should have a little 18 volt. So we go back underneath, and underneath, I think I mentioned before that the Deja Vibe has, which I've squashed between the pedal and the bottom of the pedal board. So that's okay, I can come up there and go in there. So that's getting nice 18 volts, 9 in, 18 out. So it's getting 18 volts, which means it has lovely high headroom and sounds jolly nice to boot. Okay, final stages. I've got everything mounted. I have failed a little bit actually, because on this right hand side here, I am going over the end of the pedal board, so it wouldn't quite fit. I mean, there's probably another 2 mil there, so I could have got it a bit closer, but anyway, that's about as packed on there as it can be. So it means that these two connections here are vulnerable, so I just need to be careful about that. But anyway, we are in, the audio's done. There we go, the audio's done. I haven't tested it, so I'll test it in a minute, and we can hear what it sounds like. Power, I've got power to the two less than standard pedals, although I think this is standard, this one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Power to the two problematic pedals. All I've got to do now is get power to the tube screamer and the fuzz, so we'll turn it over. And this will give us the opportunity to tidy up and finish. So these both need to come off an isolator, because they both need to be to have no noise and be grounded. So this one off the distributor here, this little cable here is not being used for anything. So you can go. Don't require you. Why can't you run the pedal straight off the distributor? You can. Won't harm it, but it won't be isolated. Won't be. It will still be susceptible to some noise. So I need to get one here, and this one is already connected, so I don't need to worry about that. So I can connect that one there. Nice. And then I need to get one up to here, and oh, look at that. So this isolator had been used before on another board and had some wires already connected to it. I deliberately didn't disconnect them because chances are they would have been okay. However, I do want to run it through that little cable tidy thing there. But, okay, little time calculation. It'll take me a few minutes to disconnect and reconnect it, so I'm not going to bother. I'm going to run that up to the TS. Now I've got a bunch of cable here that I don't really know what to do with, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to wrap it up like that. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to use a little cable tie in one of these awesome little things. So that's kind of tidy enough. I mean, you know, it's just for a little mess about with some friends. It's not the wall tour in Venezuela, Argentina and the rest of South America. So I think that'll be fine. I've left enough space to get my IEC in here. That's tidy enough. The little OCD part of me wants to put a bit of tape on there because that's annoying me a bit. But otherwise that's, you know, that's tidy enough and it's going to work. This is annoying. So I'm going to find another solution of that, another solution for that before gig o'clock. Cool, done. 4 independent true bypass loops, powered 9 volt DC center negative, input and output jacks. Let's go and plug it in and see how we get on. Hello again. Right, the moment of truth. Check this guitar's in tune. I've set up the pedals, turned them all on, got some settings dialed in. Close enough for rock and roll. Victory V40. Hopefully there'll be something as nice as that there tonight to play. We'll see. But whether it's a Hot Rod Deluxe or a whatever it is, hopefully I can make this work. All right. So let's start with the nice sounding things. Let's start with the delay, the Bell Epoch Deluxe. So here's the Victory on its own. Yeah, cool. So it's caving the front of the Victory massively with the three things stacked together. But what I've got there is 3 separate levels of gain. I've got a nice clean boost in the Bad Bob, or, you know, like a slightly edgy boost in the Bad Bob. The mid-range of the Tube Screamer, the crazy fun of the Fuzz. And then a bit of wobbly and some delay. I think that'll work great. I think we'll have some fun with that. Cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. A quick board. Well, not that quick as it turned out, but it felt quick when I woke up this morning and thought, yeah, I'll just put a little board together to go out and have some fun with tonight. Tucks away easily on a stage somewhere, so it's not not problematic, or it's not showing off or anything. So yeah, should have some fun with that. Cool, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you on Monday or Tuesday or Friday, depending on whenever you join us next. Okay, bye. Okay, quick addendum. After bemoaning Dan forgetting to bring my new Schmitteray pedal board. Oh, the gig was okay, by the way. It's now a week after, almost a week after. The gig was okay, it was good. I had an AC30, a hand-wired AC30, which I used. I'm going to have to go because the next interviewee has just turned up. Yes, we're interviewing today. It was good, it was great fun. It sounded good, the board performed well, the fuzz got a bit lost in the mix. But no, it was great fun and it all performed well. So after bemoaning Dan not bringing my new Schmitteray, the next morning, after finished filming the blooming vlog and editing it, it turned up. Check that out. Seafoam green. I'll do some details of this in a second. But it has arrived, and I'm going to put a small board together for the next video. That'll be the next video. Okay, as I'm talking, there will be details and you can see how cool this is. So thanks for watching. The new Schmitteray has turned up. The new mini board will get built, and that will be another vlog in time. Good, all right. Have a good week. See you soon.
Hai guys, hari ini aku mau kasih tutorial cara routing pedalboard. Oke, yang pertama aku pakai itu adalah tuner. Ini dari Valeton Coral tuner. Nah, itu aku taruhnya di sini. Sebelumnya supaya enak nanti kita pasang kelistrikannya dulu. Kita pasang di sini. Oke, lalu kita tekan supaya agak nempel. Lalu yang kedua, aku mau pakai ini dari Valeton juga, aktif volume sama wah, Surge EP1. Oke, kita cari adaptornya dulu yang ke sini seperti ini. Oke, kita pasang dulu. Seperti apa ini namanya. Pasang sini atau sini. Bentar, aku kok pengen ikut ke sini. Di sini terlalu dekat. Kok di sini nanti ini kesininya jauh. Kita pasang di sini aja ya. Di mana ya enaknya? Oke, kita pasang di sini aja. Oke, kita pasang di sini. Oh, sebelumnya kita masukin jumpernya dulu ya, supaya gampang. Kita masukin lewat bawah dulu. Yang satunya kita pasang di coral tuner. Nah, seperti ini. Satunya ini untuk ke volume bawah. Oke, seperti ini. kita belokin sini. Lalu kita pasang. Oh, kurang geser ke sini supaya bisa muat banyak efek. Lalu dari sini ke mau pakai efek apa lagi ya? Oke, dari volume kita masuk ke ini aja lah. Kita masuk ke paste MXR mobile paste. Ini sudah ada velcro nya. Oh, sebelum ke mobile paste kita kasih ini dulu, compression sustainer buat ngembaliin sinyal-sinyalnya. Ini velcro nya baru kepasang satu, velcro yang lama. Oke, kita pasang yang baru untuk bawahnya. Nah, seperti ini. Aku juga sudah bahas tutorial cara pasang velcro nya di video sebelum ini. Kayaknya miring. Aku copot lagi lah, mumpung masih belum terlalu lengket. Nah, seperti ini. Kita pasang di sini. Oh, sebelum itu kita kasih jumpernya dulu. Kita pasang dari sini. Oke, kita caranya lewat mana ya? Lewat sini. Oh, berarti mana betul? Nah, kita pasang adaptornya dan pasang jumpernya. Lalu tinggal kita tempel aja ke pedalboard. Kurang geser seperti ini. Oke, lalu dari compression sustainer masuk ke yang ini oil paste. Oke, untuk betonnya yang oke, kita pasang di sini betonnya. Oh, jumpernya kita lupa pasang. Oke, kalau butuh yang jaraknya panjang aku pakai jumpernya dari Adrio karena jumpernya tuh lentur dan panjang. Oke, kita lewatin bawah. Tuh, kok susah ya. Tapi lewat sini. Nah, untuk selebihnya cara pemasangannya sama. Oh, tunggu sebentar. Kalau efek yang besar seperti ini, Fox Ice 9 Overdrive, signaturenya Joe Satriani. Cara masang velcro-nya butuh banyak sih, sekitar 4 atau 3. Oke, nanti kita bagi. Oke, kalau efek yang besar ini kira-kira butuh 3 atau 4 sekalian ya. Oh, supaya lebih kuat kita pasang 4 aja lah. Oke, jadinya seperti ini. Sudah terpasang ya. Kalau efek ini aku gimana ya, pasang miring aja supaya nggak makan tempat. Oke, kita pasang seperti ini. Nah, kan kuat kan? Beda sama velcro yang dulu, maksudnya yang bawaannya pedalboard. Sekarang kita pasang pedalboardnya. Oke, seperti ini. Oke, lalu kita ke efek selanjutnya, yaitu full bore metal. Oke, aku mau pasang di sini. Berarti kita harus kasih jumper. Nah, seperti ini. Oke guys, seperti ini jadinya. Oke, dari awal ini ada coral tuner. Oh bentar, kurang ke tengah. Lalu ada ini apa, aktif volume sama wah. Lalu ini compression sustainer. Lalu ke MXR wild pace. Lalu ke Ice 9 overdrive. Lalu ke Fulver metal. Lalu ke Sur Coco Boost. Lalu ke Nux Chorus. Lalu ke Harmonies PS6. Lalu ke Moer Equalizer dan Moer Repeater. Oke guys, di efek-efek yang kecil seperti ini aku tambahin apa nih, tes ya, supaya tambah lebih kuat lagi. Nah ini ada tesnya, ini aku kasih. Jangan lupa like kalau menurut kalian video ini bagus, dan dislike kalau menurut kalian video ini kurang bagus, dan jangan lupa subscribe dan komen. Oke guys, kita bertemu di video selanjutnya.
Just to start out, a reminder, this is just a foundation. It is not a hardcore road. However, this is where you want to start. So we have the Polytune 2 as the first pedal in your lineup, followed by the wah pedal. Compressor, low gain to higher gain distortion pedal, so you want to drive distortion fuzz pedal. Then you want to go into your modulation pedals, like the analog chorus, the flanger, delay. If you have the sonic stomp, you always want it to be the last pedal on your pedal board, so it gives the best signal to your amp. That's what this is all about. That's what that pedal's all about. A little something for you to think about. Fuzz pedals, they do not always work well with other pedals. This is a temperamental pedal. So once you get your foundation and get your pedals lined up, dialed in, then the fun part starts. You can start experimenting. Me personally, I do this. I go high gain to low gain. It's my personal preference. The thing is, what you want to do when you're putting together your pedal board, start out with a foundation, move the pedals around as you see fit to make it sound the way you like it to sound. I have a buddy, he likes to put his wah pedal after all the distortion pedals. It works for him.
Ini pedalboard yang biasa dipakai untuk sehari-hari untuk main. Ketemulah pedal ini yang baru, ini adalah brand IMS. Oke, langsung saja. Saya pakai gitarnya Kramer, pakai gitar Kramer. Ini pas posisi saya pakai single coil ya. Oke, lanjut ke overdrive. Oke, ini medium gain overdrive ya, jadi gitu. Cocok. Sangat transparan, jadi nggak ngubah karakter gitar kalian. Adalah kita beralih ke distorsi, go distortion. Oh, ini tadi masih single coil, sekarang kita ubah ke humbucker pickupnya. Pakai bridge pick. Oke, ini clippingnya dia lebih, kalau kesini lebih bass, di sini lebih bright. Kita tambahin boosternya. Dia tetap masih bisa apa namanya crunch di gain kecil ya. Ini humbucker, ini single coil. Itu tadi distorsi, go distortion. Sekarang ada lagi live distortion. Kayak gimana karakter suaranya, kayak gini. Ini single coil, ini yang humbuckernya. Single coil, humbucker. Kencengan nih. Gak apa. Ya kayak gini. Tambahin delay dari clockworknya GFI. Ini terakhir dari booster, true booster, jadi dia nggak coloring sama sekali. Dia nambahin gain aja untuk lead. Oke, kalau dia sendirian boosternya. Kalau ini kayaknya pick ya dari kiplaknya. Itu tadi. Kalau kalian yang nanya, waktu itu ada yang berapa yang nanya untuk biasa kalau main ambient pakai ini aja sih. Saya biasa pakai GFI Clockwork sama specular reverb. Lalu biasa saya pakai shimmer ini.
Hi there, I'm Adrian and today I'm in gear mode and I'm going to be talking about building a mini pedal board. Now the idea I had was to put together a super compact pedal setup that I could use whilst practicing, while teaching, whilst making my videos, and also for playing gigs as well, where I need to get there on the tube or by public transport, and it's a real hassle to take my other pedal board, which is really heavy and comes in a massive flight case. So I thought a mini pedal board setup would fit the bill there. And the original idea was just to restrict myself to 3 or 4 essential pedals, but obviously I couldn't stop at just that, and now I've accumulated enough mini pedals to fill every last square inch of space on this board. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to take you through the process of building the board. I'm going to talk about the pedals that I've chosen, why I've chosen them, and then I'm going to give you a quick demo of some of the sounds. So here's a pedal board, here are some pedals, let's pedal board. So the board itself then is a Pedal Train Metro 16. I've had quite a few Pedal Train pedal boards over the years, always found them to be straightforward, sturdy, just do the job really well. And I went for this size pedal board. They do a couple of even smaller pedal boards than this, but I think for my purposes those would probably be too small to fit on the essential pedals that I need. So this kind of size seemed about right for this project. And the first thing I'm going to do is attach the power supply. Now my original plan was to use this power supply here, which is an old Voodoo Lab pedal power, the original pedal power, which I've had for many years, but I fired it up a few weeks ago and discovered that a couple of the outputs were broken, so I had to ditch that idea and go out and buy a new power supply. This is the latest Pedal Power 2 Plus. Not a cheap power supply, but in my opinion one of the best power supplies. I did consider a few other options. You could kind of go down the daisy chain route, or you've got kind of rechargeable power supplies or various slightly smaller options, but in the end this seemed like the best option, I think. I remember what it was like before Voodoo Lab power supplies came along. It was a real hassle to power your pedals without all kinds of voltage issues and hums and buzzes, but this seems to have sorted all these things out, and I wanted to go with something nice and dependable on this pedal board. Actually turns out to be the heaviest and bulkiest thing on the board, I think, so I'm just going to position it up in the top left here, out of the way of any of the pedals. What I'm going to do to start with, I'm just going to get everything roughly positioned on the board so that I can see that everything's working before I attach everything properly and wire it all in. Onto the pedals themselves then, and first up is the tuner, and I've gone for a TC Electronic Polytune 2. And it's hard, I suppose, to get too excited about guitar tuners, but as guitar tuners go, I think this is a good one. It's got a nice clear display, seems to get me in tune nice and accurately, so that's what I've gone for my tuner. next up then are drive pedals, and I find it quite hard to survive a gig without a few drive options, and I've actually got 3 drive pedals I want to put on this board. And first up is a fuzz pedal, and I've gone for this JHS Mini Foot Fuzz, and I think this is probably the best looking pedal I've got on my board. I like that kind of fetching purple and green colour scheme, and the foot graphic on the pedal. I think it's a really cool looking pedal. As far as the sound goes, it's just a really nice classic sounding fuzz, nice and warm and full. If you back the fuzz control off, you've got that slightly kind of scratchy fuzz sound. Crank up the fuzz and you get a really saturated full fuzz sound. So it's a really good one, that. And after the fuzz, I'm going to need some kind of overdrive, and along with everyone else these days, it seems, I'm a fan of these Klon style overdrives. This is a Wampler Tumnus, and it's a clone of the Klon Centaur overdrive. Really natural, great sounding overdrive pedal. And next I've got a distortion pedal, and what I've gone for is a Moore Black Secret pedal. Now I've got a mixture of pedals on this board. Some of them are quite pricey, others like this one are cheaper pedals. Some of them are new, some of them I found off eBay, but I'm a big fan of these Moore pedals. They're really affordable and they sound really, really good. And the Black Secret is a clone of a Rat pedal. I've always liked the Rat style of distortion. I've got a 90s Rat on my other pedal board, and this is just a copy of the Rat circuit, I think. And in fact it's like 2 Rats in one, because this switch here means that you can switch between a vintage Rat sounding pedal, and then you've got the Turbo Rat, which has got a slightly different flavour of distortion and quite a bit more gain on the pedal as well. So that's a really nice sounding distortion pedal for not much money. Next I've got another Moore pedal actually, and it's a tremolo pedal, the Moore Trelicopter. And incidentally, as far as pedal order goes on this board, I've just kept things fairly conventional. I'm going from tuner through drive pedals, then modulation, and then as you see I've got delay and reverb as well. So I'm not trying out any wacky or creative ordering of pedals on this particular board, although I do enjoy that kind of thing, but it's probably something that I think is best left to the studio, or where you've got some kind of pedal switching system. For this board I'm just keeping things very simple. So yeah, this pedal, tremolo pedal, again a really good and affordable pedal from Moore. You can just adjust the speed of the tremolo with this knob here. It's got a depth control as well, which I think adjusts the intensity of the tremolo effect, and a bias control here. I'm not sure exactly what that does. From the tremolo I'm going into a delay pedal, and I've got a Ibanez Analog Delay Mini. Again, this is a great classic sounding warm analog delay pedal, and I think the circuitry inside is identical to the circuitry in the classic Ibanez delays of the 80s. And that's one of the things you get with mini pedals these days, is that you're not sort of accepting any compromise in terms of sound by going down to this mini format. I think the circuitry inside all of these pedals is identical to the circuitry in the bigger pedals, and they sound just as good as the bigger pedals, I think. So this mini delay is a good case in point. So it's got that really warm analog delay sound. Got all the sort of controls you need there to control it. Just you've got the repeats there, and then you can blend in as much or as little of the delay as you want. And from there I'm going into a reverb pedal, and for that I've got another TC Electronic pedal. This is the Hall of Fame Mini, another really good sounding pedal, and it's one of these tone print pedals which has got all of this futuristic technology whereby you can beam in famous guitar players' sounds from your mobile phone. So not that I've really tried out any of that stuff yet. At the moment I've just got it set with the factory kind of hall reverb, which sounds really good to me. But if I wanted to, I could beam Steve Vai's reverb into that pedal, which sounds like quite a lot of fun. I might have to try that later. So I've just got a tiny bit of space left on the board, and there I'm going to put my loop pedal, which is another TC Electronic pedal. This is just the basic model Ditto looper, and I use this pedal more in practice than I would during a gig, and in practice I'll use it just to make a simple loop or a backing track, and for those purposes I think this very simple looper is perfect. If I were more into creating ambient soundscapes and doing crazy stuff, then I might need something a bit more sophisticated, but for just simple loops this pedal is just right. So that's all of the pedals roughly in position, and already it's looking pretty cute, I think you'll agree. And just to recap then the order of the pedals, I'm going from the tuner, then I've got the fuzz, then the overdrive, distortion, tremolo, and from that I'm actually going up to the delay, then I'll have the reverb, and then the looper on the end. And the reason for laying them out like this is I did want my looper at the front of the board, just because that's something I'm going to need to get my foot to fairly regularly. Pedals I'm using less, the delay and the reverb I can just have at the back of the board, where I don't need to be stomping on them quite so often. Next step is to get the power to the pedals, and I think that should be fairly straightforward. The Voodoo Lab power supply comes with a load of these barrel power connectors, so I just need to connect those to the power supply and then the other end to the pedals. All of the pedals I think are powered the same way. They're all 9-volt pedals with the same size connectors, so that should be quite a straightforward process. I'm just going to make sure that I run the cables underneath the board just to keep everything nice and tidy there. And once that's done, I'm actually going to put the cable between the actual pedals themselves. And for that I'm going to be using George L's cable. And this is just the kind of cable that I've always used on my pedal boards. I like it because it's the cable you can cut yourself to exactly the right length, and then you attach these connectors, and you don't need to do any soldering or anything like that. You just sort of push the connector onto the end of the cable, screw in the little cap, and the cables are ready to go. So let me get on with that. So here we go, just about there now, and it wasn't quite as quick or as straightforward a process as I'd hoped, but these things rarely are, I find. A couple of minor issues I ran into. You'll notice that the Trelicopter is now relegated to the back row of the pedal board. I was hoping to position it here, but the Moa pedals seem to be a bit longer than the other pedals, and they've got the power connector on the end, so it wouldn't sit there without jutting out over the edge of the board. So what I've done is moved the Trelicopter to the back, moved the reverb up here. I've kept the order of the pedals exactly the same though, so that the signal is running from the Black Secret now through to the Trelicopter underneath the board, then the delay, then back to the reverb and out through the looper. Other minor annoyance was the positioning of the Black Secret pedal, which you can see is a little bit back from the other pedals, and that was again just due to space issues and the fact that the jack socket on the Tumnus and the Black Secret are exactly opposite one another, so I couldn't have them all straight without running out of room on the board. So as I say, a minor annoyance. I will learn to live with it, I'm sure. So all that remains for me to do now then is to plug it in, fire everything up, and I'll just give you a quick demo of a few of the sounds here. I'm not going to do a full demo of all of these pedals, but I'll just give you a quick idea of what these things sound like. So the good news is the pedal board appears to be functioning properly, and I've just got a basic clean sound set up here. All the pedals are bypassed at the moment, and I should say that I'm using my Jazzmaster guitar here through my usual amp, which is an 80s Fender Super Champ, and I'm just going to tune up and then I'll take you through some sounds. So as I said, nothing terribly exciting about a guitar tuner, but I think this is a good one. The display is nice and clear, it's nice and stable when you're trying to tune, and it does a good job. So what I'm going to do is just take you through each of these pedals briefly. I'm going to go from right to left. So let's start with the fuzz pedal, which is the JHS Mini Foot Fuzz. Let's check out what that sounds like. So we're straight into that kind of classic 60s fuzz territory here. Makes me want to play this. You can see that the fuzz control is set quite low at the moment, so you've got that quite thin, spitty, low gain kind of a fuzz. But let me just take the fuzz control up a bit further, and you'll hear that the the fuzz kind of smooths out a little bit. You've got more sustain. It's got that quite nice singing, tone benderish kind of a fuzz sound, I think. Mick Ronson kind of tones there, and that kind of thing. So it's a great sounding fuzz pedal, that one, I think. Next in line we've got the Tumnus. This is a overdrive pedal, and based on the Klon Centaur, as I said, which and these kind of pedals seem to be everybody's favourite overdrive sounds at the moment, myself included, just because it just seems to be the most natural, the most responsive and expressive overdrive sound. These type of pedals are really good at maintaining the basic sound of your guitar and amp, allowing that through whilst just adding a little bit of extra drive. Before I got into these type of pedals, I always used tube screamers, which I still love, but I always found with tube screamers it was a bit more of a battle to get a decent tone. They're quite particular about what amps you use and what guitars you use, and you just have to take a bit more care dialing them in, whereas with the Tumnus I think it's quite hard to get a bad sound really. And let me just, this is with the gain on quite low, and it's become for me one of these kind of always on pedals. Even when I'm going for a clean sound, I'll quite often have this pedal engaged, and it just seems to warm things up slightly even on a clean tone. So it's with the pedal off it sounds like this, and then with the Tumnus just adds a little bit of warmth and mid-range, I think. Take the gain up and we lovely kind of chiming rock kind of sounds, that amp on the edge of breakup kind of sounds, and then you can go further. There's quite a lot of gain left in the final quarter of this control's range actually. So that's the Tumnus. Next up we've got much more of a full-on distortion pedal. This is the Black Secret Rat clone, and that sounds like this. Big fan of this style of distortion. It's even got the Rat style filter control, which I really like. It's kind of tone control, which you can just use to roll off any harsh high frequencies there. And it's also got the 2 modes, so I can just put it into turbo Rat mode as well. Gives you quite a massive leap in volume actually, and it's also a slightly different flavour of distortion. So that's the Black Secret. From there we're going kind of underneath the board into the tremolo pedal. This is the Mua Trelicopter, and that sounds like this. So really nice sounding tremolo pedal, this one. I think it compares really well to the much more expensive tremolo pedal which I've got on my other board, which is a full tone Super Trem. I think that the tones are pretty comparable on those two pedals. I think the Super Trem probably has a little bit more versatility, and you've got a bit more control over the sound, but really do like this Trelicopter. So I just increase the speed and the depth a little bit. Again, it's got this mysterious bias control, not quite sure what that does. It changes the shape of the waveform somehow, but let's see what that sounds like with the tumness. Very nice. So what else have we got left? Yeah, let's go to the delay. This is the Ibanez analog delay. It's got that nice kind of analog delay flavor. Here I've just got it set for a single kind of rockabilly style repeat. Really like those dark analog delay repeats, and of course it can do all of the usual stuff that a delay pedal can do, the more atmospheric things. That's the delay, and we've got some radio coming through my amp. That's probably from the vintage style fuzz pedal. Let me switch that off. Yeah, onto the reverb then. Hall of Fame Mini, and at the moment I've just got this set with the stock factory sound, which I think sounds really good. It's just a nice kind of lush hall reverb kind of a sound. So I've not got into all this tone print stuff, which I really should do at some point. But basically, what that means is you can change the reverb parameters and the type of reverb by kind of futuristically beaming it into the pedal from your mobile phone. So I really must try that sometime soon. So let's see what tremolo and the Hall of Fame sound like together. Maybe a bit of tumness as well. Yeah, really nice kind of atmospheric sounds there. So, so that's about it really. Then you've just got the looper there, which doesn't really need much of a demo actually. It loops nice and simple. You know, if you're not doing kind of atmospheric soundscape stuff, I just like the simplicity of this pedal. Just hit it once to record, hit it again to stop the loop. So I think that's about it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and do check out my website where I've got many more guitar related videos. And yeah, just remains one thing for me to do, I suppose, which is to turn on all the pedals at once and see how that sounds. So here we go.
Bye.